Hello guys, how are we doing? And welcome back to the channel. Season 4 is dropping today and we're going to be covering everything you need to know about ranked play that relates directly to Season 4. If you're here for information relating to Warzone or other elements of multiplayer, you can check out the patch notes down below, which will have it all written in, but I'm only really going to be discussing things that may or do affect ranked play, at least multiplayer ranked play on Black Ops 6. There's things that are potentially coming in, like some new maps that might be tested in ranked play, potentially new guns, some adjustments to the GPR, the AMES, and the Jackal, which we're going to touch on later, and some two really key restriction updates that we're going to be covering, which are, I think, long overdue. Now, this isn't hopefully just a video of me rambling on about the things I'm seeing and just my thoughts. I want to know what you think to all the adjustments that's happening in today's update. Do you feel like there needs to be more? Personally, this is probably the worst update, or not the worst. It's a good update, but it doesn't give us much in terms of new content to look forward to in Black Ops 6. Multiplayer ranked play, at least, I feel like a lot of their focus has probably merged over to Warzone. The rewards aren't great, which we're going to be getting into as well today. And I just feel like there should be a little bit more to be excited about this, especially at this time of the year where the pros have pretty much already finished their season. They can try and test things new in ranked play now just to make it a little bit more exciting. Yeah, let me know your thoughts about anything I go through today, and do you want to see anything else that is potentially missed in today's update? Before we get into it, I just wanted to say apologies for being away for a few weeks. I haven't been able to upload, which I'm not going to get into, but I'm back now, back to usual schedule. So thank you for all of you who stay subscribed and reviewing some of my older videos as well. Appreciate every single one of you who stayed with the channel. But we're back in action and looking forward to getting back on the content grind. So there are new maps coming to Black Ops 6 in Season 4. There's two coming at the launch of Season 4 today, and there's one called Fringe, which you might be aware of already, coming later on in the season in a few weeks' time. Firstly, we have Shutdown, which is a 6v6 core map. Potentially not going to be in ranked play. It doesn't look very ranked play viable. The lanes and stuff, it is somewhat 3-lane, but you've got that huge water lane on the left-hand side, which is going to make it really annoying, especially for the likes of S&D. But I wouldn't mind to see it tested, at least. I wouldn't mind to see it tested for a weekend, for a week, just to see how people feel about it and whether or not people want to actually in ranked play to go forward. And then you have Fugitive, which I think is just way too small. It does say it's a 6v6 core map, but personally I believe it doesn't leave a lot of room to like manipulate spawns. I feel like it's going to be really chaotic. It's going to be smaller than the smallest maps we've had in ranked play this year and years in the past. And then we have Fringe, which is coming in season. So as I say, this is a few weeks away. Where we're actually going to be seeing Fringe, but you will recognize this from Black Ops 3. It was a actually competitive map in Black Ops 3, and I'm just gutted they've left it this late in Black Ops 6's life cycle to bring it in, because I would have 100% guaranteed you that this would have been in the CDL rotation, would have been therefore in the ranked player rotation. And it's a solid map. Yes, it was a game where they had jetpacks and you could maneuver around the map slightly differently, but it still was a solid map, and I would have seen it definitely being viable in Black Ops 6. It's a shame it's coming so late, but again, hopefully when it releases at Season 4 Reloaded, we're going to see that at least tried in the update, or at least in ranked play. And we've got two new guns that are potentially going to be tested. In the past, they've tested new guns that have come as DLC. They haven't done it as of quite recently, but in previous updates they have done it. We've got the FFAR, which is from Cold War. It was a real hard to control, real high recoil, but faster sort of killing gun, which benefited you if you could, really struggle. It's like it was a little bit of a flex gun. So that's coming to Black Ops 6 from Cold War. And then you've also got the LC-10, which is an SMG, again from Cold War. This was actually in Cold War ranked play back in the day, and it was overpowered disgustingly, and it took a whole season almost to pull it out, and it was a real cheese gun. But as I say, try it for a week, similar to the maps. Let's see how people get on with them. It might be an absolute shit show at the end of the day, but try it, get the feedback, nerf the guns if they're a bit overpowered, and go from there. I think we do need some variety, and unfortunately that's going to have to come from testing the new maps and the new guns, which might not be in there for the long haul, but it's going to spice it up and at least keep ranked play interesting for us. So they're the real new things that I think we might potentially see in Season 4's update. Dealership. There's a couple of fixes to a single fix to a single ranked play map, where in Dealership, when you threw frags and stuns, they'll sometimes either clip through the floor, which means they wouldn't work, or they'd clip through buildings, meaning that you'd get grenade damage through buildings, and they seem to fix that. And then we've got guns adjustments, so weapon adjustments. You've got, first of all, they've changed the attachments to two of the stocks on the AMES. Essentially, the heavy stock and the combat stock now offer a better flinch reduction. Okay, so you're going to with these two stocks, you're going to get less flinch than you would have previously, which is going to help those of you who play on mouse and keyboard, because I believe they're a little bit more heavily affected by weapon flinch than controller players, at least. But for those of you who use the standard AMES class, probably not going to be affected by that update. Now, they've changed the GPR 9.1, which was sort of, it's an underused AR in ranked play. You don't see it used frequently because it's just not as good as the AMES. But what they've said here is that they're removing the GPR's mid-range, mid-damage range. This range has the same base TTK as the max damage range, but a lower headshot potential. The GPR now only needs 2 headshots to improve time to kill at all ranges. So they've completely removed that little middle thing, and it makes it a lot more viable at any ranges. So it's going to be a little bit of a buff to the GPR. You'll see the details here, where that max damage range has gone from 22.2 meters all the way up to 45.7, where you're going to be getting 23 damage per bullet. They've completely scrapped that mid damage range, and as you can see, it then goes to the minimum damage range, which is anything past that 45.7 mark. I don't think this is going to be enough to stray away from the AMES, but it's at least going to draw more people, especially at the start of Season 4, potentially to the GPR, just to try and test out a bit. And again, I think that added a little bit of variety, those adjustments to damage range there, is going to make it a little bit more entertaining to play. Is going to spice it up a little bit. You then move on to the adjustment they've made to the marksman foregrip on the Jackal. I don't really think the Jackal was used substantially with the marksman foregrip, at least. So yeah, for those of you who do use the marksman, I thought, you know what, let me include it in today's video in case you want to know information on it. But yeah, they're the updates. You can read it. I don't think many of you are going to use it, but I thought I'd include it because why not? Moving on to ranked play itself, we're now going to be looking at the restrictions. Now, these two things I'm really quite excited about. I think maybe it's just the old head in me, but the SMGs, the C9 has been restricted in ranked play. This was a gun that had a consistently better time to kill than most other weapons in the SMG category, at least in ranked play, apart from the compact. But that had awful recoil. The C9 was really powerful, and it ended up being that cheese gun that people would use to get kills that they otherwise would struggle to get with the Jackal. So hopefully the players who weren't able to use the Jackal are going to be a little bit hindered by the C9. And this one, I'm a little bit torn between, because yes, the C9 was better, but it didn't have the mobility of the Jackal, so that was the sort of weighing up you had to do to decide to use a C9. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And then finally, flashbangs are gone out of ranked play, and they are now restricted. So it's going to only be concussions that you're going to be able to use. I think that's a good change. Flashbangs were taken out of the CDL because they were deemed uncompetitive. Although in this game, you have to be facing the flashbang for it to actually work. If it's behind you, you get a real slight flash, not the full flash. So it's a little bit more balanced than it has been in other games. But still, I feel like it's a good thing to do, to restrict that, because it wasn't in the CDL rule set, and I think it's deemed uncompetitive. They've changed, or at least to my knowledge, they've changed the unlock requirements. So in order to unlock ranked play now, if you haven't played ranked play in some time, you may be asked to win 10 games to re-qualify for ranked play, just to make sure you've not cheated again. It's a way for you for them to catch cheaters within those 10 games of actual pubs, rather than wait till they get into ranked play. So if you've not played in some time, you're coming back to the game and you're wondering why you suddenly need 10 more wins to play, that will be why. And then finally, we go through the setbacks, where nothing's really changed here. So you'll notice that when you log into ranked play later on this afternoon or later on this evening, depending on what time zone you're in, you will have been deranked, at least, or you should have. Now, bronze and silver ranks will not be impacted by the seasonal setback. They will just stay wherever they were to hopefully keep that progression up. Anything gold and platinum will start Season 4 in the Tier 1 of the rank they finished in. So when you finish Season 3, let's say you were Plat 3, you'd go down to Plat 1, and if you were Gold 3, you'd go down to Gold 1. But yeah, whatever you were in, you'd go down to the Tier 1 of that rank. And then finally, anyone from Diamond 1 all the way to top 50 will all get reset back to Diamond 1, meaning that if you just started ranked play or just managed to get into Diamond at the end of Season 3, you're probably going to be in the same rank of people who were literally #1 in the world. Although, because the matchmaking is done using the hidden MMR, the hidden skill rating, you're less likely to play them as someone who managed to get Crimson or Iridescent. So it's still going to feel like the games are probably a little bit fair, but there might be the odd one or two where you end up playing really sweaty players. Now, final thing I want to cover in today's video are the rewards. Weirdly enough, the rewards you get are purely weapon charms. So there's no... obviously, you still get the camo, blah, 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 but there's nothing real else other than just weapon charms you get. There's a weapon blueprint, which looks okay. There's a decal, and then obviously you get the cooling cards as well. But fine. I'm not over the moon with the rewards. I think they could probably do something a little bit cooler, make them look a little bit better. These seem to be following the same animal theme pattern, which I don't really get on with. I think that it could be a little bit more unique than that. But hey, it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts on today's update. I'm glad to be back. Let me know what sort of content you want to see from the channel between now and the end of Black Ops 6. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao for now.